G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Last episode we wound up our time in Trinidad exploring the southern part of the island before being placed back in the slings and splashing after all the repairs were done. We checked out of the country the next day, weighed anchor, and before long had Trinidad slipping into the distance behind us. The last site was the Hibiscus gas platform, which lies about 28 nautical miles north, before we lost sight of the island and settled in for our overnight sail to Grenada. We spent the next 30 nautical miles making our way north, listening to the sound of the Caribbean Sea as it washed past the boat, watching the moon, and keeping watch for other vessels. This week, we say hello to Grenada. G'day guys, it's about 1 AM and as you can see, we're just starting to see the lights on the south end of Grenada come into view. Hey guys, we're about 18 nautical miles out from the island of Grenada right now, and as you can see the lights are becoming much clearer. So this is the southwest corner of Grenada, very well populated. Anyway, Michelle's about to come on watch and I'm about to go and catch some Z's before we make the mooring field. More to come.
Alright everyone, we have made it to Grenada after a very pleasant overnight sail. Now we're coming in to St. George. And we're gonna try and find a place to drop the anchor. Sorry about this. A little shaky this morning. Alright, we'll show you more of our adventures in a bit.
Alright people, we've secured ourselves on the anchor just outside the port of St. George. This area you are seeing is called the Esplanade, and that is where the cruise ships dock. St. George is the capital city of Grenada, so we can't wait to explore it and bring that to you. By the way, I don't believe we've mentioned this in our videos, but if you want to keep up in real time or close to real time, we are on Instagram, so check out @WhyNotAdventure on Instagram. There you see Fort George currently being renovated, so it's closed to the public. The yellow building below it is the local hospital. And then you see the port. We go to the right of the port to see customs and immigration to get checked in. Oh, and it looks like the local welcoming committee's come to say hello. And as quick as she came, she left. After checking into the country and spending about a week just relaxing and unwinding, we planned to take a tour of the north part of Grenada. Our friends from Canada, Mike and Cynthia, had sailed up to join us, so we decided to spend a day exploring. We hired a tour company and started in St. George's, touring the Sir Eric Gairy Botanical Gardens, so named for Grenada's independence leader and her first Prime Minister. This garden, which is open to the public, also houses the main ministerial complex of Grenada's government. Sir Eric Matthew Gairy was overthrown in a bloodless coup by Maurice Bishop while on a visit to the United States in 1979. He is honoured with these gardens and this statue for his contribution to Grenada's history. From the gardens we took a scenic route so we could look down over St. George's. The city itself is built on the hillside of an old volcanic crater and has a horseshoe-shaped harbour that is the caldera. St. George's was founded by the French in 1650 when the governor of Martinique colonised here. Originally the fort was called Fort Royal and the settlement near it became Fort Royal Town. After 113 years, however, the island was ceded to the British in the Treaty of Paris in 1763. The English immediately changed the name of everything so it sounded more British. So what had been Fort Royal and Fort Royal Town became Fort George after King George III, and St. George's after the patron saint of England. To this day, the streets in the capital are still the narrow horse and cart width. That causes vehicles to have to stop and slowly pass each other so they don't knock off their wing mirrors. Here you can see the area of the volcano crater called the Carenage. It is a wonderful area of the capital that has historic buildings, some as old as the 1800s, overlooking the water. It houses the Board of Tourism, various government offices, private businesses, and some great restaurants. Hey guys, so we're at the Concord Waterfall in the mountains of Grenada. As you can probably tell from our videos, Michelle and I are not much for being on the camera. However, here is a shot of us at the Concord Falls. There was a gift shop and a little bar at the falls. The bar had what is called bush rum, which is basically rum infused with different herbs and spices. Well, at 10 in the morning, what is better than a shot of bush rum to get you revved up? Here you see myself, Mike and Cynthia, and one of the other tour bus participants. Cheers, guys. This was one of the best tour groups I've had the pleasure of being a part of. Everyone on the tour was super friendly, we all got on well, and the tour guide was extremely entertaining. Of course, after the bush rum, it only got better. The next stop on the tour was Edgecombe Boutique Hotel, a glorious spot overlooking the coast of Grenada. This is where we were scheduled for lunch. The main house and buildings that have been converted to the hotel are an historic cocoa bean plantation. The grounds are gorgeous, and the view is just simply stunning. The next stop was Michelle's favourite place, Crayfish Bay Organic Chocolate Plantation. Ladies, if chocolate speaks to you like it does Michelle, then this is your Valhalla. Owned and operated by a very eccentric 70-plus-year-old Englishman, Kim Russell, this tour was a highlight. This guy loved chocolate. No, I mean loved chocolate. It was obvious he was passionate about this and that he wanted to make the best product out there. The other awesome thing about Kim was he was willing to teach anyone who wanted to learn. The process of chocolate making is as follows. Firstly, they harvest the pods and remove the cocoa beans. They put the beans in a pile in a shed and let them ferment for a number of days until certain secret numbers are met. They then take them from the shed and dry them on the racks like these, one trolley on top and one below across the entire shed. Once dry, they roast the beans in this homemade roaster until the temperature is met. The next step's really important. Make sure your elephants do not enter the next facility. They cracked the beans and to remove the husk in this early 1900s grain grinder. They placed the cracked beans in this homemade winnower to remove the husks and leave the little nibs. Nibs is what chocolate is made from. They take these nibs into the chocolate factory. They place them in a marble stone grinder and they grind them for 3 days to form a paste of a certain temperature and consistency. They then mix that paste with other ingredients like milk and so forth to form amazing chocolate. And how about the view from the factory? Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Awesome. The River Antoine Estate Rum Distillery was the next to last stop, and it was highly fascinating. Built in 1785 by the French, it is the oldest rum distillery in Grenada, and still uses the handmade methods from when it was first established. This is the holy grail for rum connoisseurs when it comes to the ancient methods of making their elixir. River Antoine uses a water wheel to crush the sugar cane. Here is the overflow to slow the wheel from turning. The wheel also turns the conveyor that moves the cane to the crusher where the juice is extracted. The juice, once extracted, is sent down this channel into another building with storage tanks. In this building there are 5 extremely large copper pots. They heat these pots from below. The juice enters the first pot being heated and is subsequently moved from pot to pot, gradually being heated more and more to remove the water and concentrate the sugars. All this is done by hand. And here is one of the big pots out of the concrete. Once reduced, the cane juice liquor is pumped to these open air vats to ferment and form alcohol. It is here that it reacts with the airborne mold, fungi, etc. to start the rum forming process. Once fermented, it is then passed into the still. These large copper stills are heated using locally sourced hardwoods, and the alcohol is extracted and cooled, again using the river water. Once the rum has been distilled and cooled, it is then bottled. This process is again done by hand. There is no automation here at River Antoine. Cynthia and Michelle are enacting the process. Cynthia is filling the bottle from an igloo cooler and Michelle is capping it in the press. Here are the 2 types of rum produced. The red label rum is an underproof 40% alcohol. The blue label is overproof 85% alcohol. The red label is the only exported rum from this plantation under the label Rivers Rum. The last official stop on the tour was Tang Lake. This is the largest freshwater lake on Grenada and is also another volcanic caldera. Nestled down in the mountains, it's an impressive sight and is also a national reserve. From here, you can hike all the way back to Concord Waterfall if you so desire, about a half a day. After leaving Tang to head home, we saw this sign. Apparently, Grenada has a monkey hunting season. As we made our way back to St. George's, we went over the 1910 pass. This is the highest elevation pass on the island. So of course we had to pile out and take a commemorative photo. Our tour guide Michael is at the back, and if you ever come here for a tour, ask for him by name. He is awesome. Here again is the harbour, and why not is there amongst the boats. 1910 did afford great views. Well, that's it for this week. We hope you enjoyed the first look of Grenada. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, get out there and explore, engage and experience all this planet and its wonderful people have to offer. We're going to enjoy a bite to eat at one of the restaurants in the Coronage and a cocktail or two. So until next time, see ya.